Hypocrisy's the best policy. Wish for change but lazily. Century of debilitation. Your evolution is a damnation. Warranties can't fix a heart. Industrialize and drive us apart. What you advertise can't rationalize. Shining a new one, fix any light. You know what that music means. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Trav, aka 5 Minute Major, and welcome to a special edition of HVpucks. I'm proud to say this is the only independent outlet dedicated to covering the sport of hockey in our region. You do not need a newspaper or cable TV subscription to access my content. It is 100% free and available on Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and on the Grandstand Sports Network. During the off-season, my plan is to release at least one episode per month on various hockey-related topics from across the Hudson Valley. Before I drop the puck on today's episode, let's take a quick break, and I'll be right back after this.
This is Brian Riley, head hockey coach at Army West Point, and you are listening to the HVpucks podcast, available for free download on Google Play, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Now, back to the show.
You know, one of the things I enjoy the most about hosting this podcast is when I get to sit down with players, coaches, parents, and fans to talk pucks. This week, I sat down with Rich Guberti, head coach of the Fordham Rams. This is his second appearance on the show this season. In addition to talking about how the season ended for his team, we also talked about the Dragons Junior Hockey 20U tournament team that Rich is connected with. Enjoy. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Trav, aka 5 Minute Major, and I'm pleased to be joined by Rich Guberti. He is a veteran of the HVpucks podcast. This is his second time coming on. He is the head coach of the Fordham University Rams out of the Metropolitan... Oh, gosh, killing me here today. Sorry, Metropolitan Collegiate Hockey Conference. This snow day threw me off. What can I tell you, Rich? Thanks so much for taking the time out to chat with me today. How's it going?
It's going great, Travis. Fantastic weather. I'm so glad I didn't go to Florida yesterday. We had a change of plans, and here we are in beautiful New York. I thought I was going to go to the Yankee home opener, but that's been canceled.
Yep.
They're going to wait for better weather tomorrow, but it only calls for downpours of rain, so it's got to be better than the snow that's happening today.
Right.
Anyway,
I mean, why can't it just be a beautiful spring day for the Yankees home opener? It's either snow or rain. It's crazy.
It's because you need adversity in a long season. I mean, they're 2-2. They're calling for Aaron Boone's head, a lot of people out there. They forget there's 158 games left. So you need adversity in life, and Lord knows God has given me quite my own share, and I want to thank him for that.
Rich, now that Fordham's season has come to an end, what are some of your favorite memories or moments that you could share with us?
Well, this was really a special season. My favorite moments were actually going 4-0 to start the season at the Aston Showcase Tournament. That was a great accomplishment, first time we ever did it. Then the season started to roll on, and the first game of the season we beat Ramapo, who were the defending champs, at Sportorama by a score of 4-3. And your buddy Tim was in net from the freshman who had graduated from, I think it was Clarkstown.
That's correct. Yep.
And he held it down. Sadly for him and us, that was the last game he played for us because he suffered a concussion in that game.
Right. And
had to sit out the rest of the season. But he really pointed the boat in the right way, and everybody else jumped on and just kept going forward. So that was a good memory. Also, we then finally went down to the Empire Tournament, which is right outside of Trenton, New Jersey, in Pennsylvania. And we went down there. We had a good showing. We went 2-1, and I think that's when people started to say, "Wow, these guys." We started to gain attention nationally, and that's when we started to get ranked regionally as 6, 7, or 8 in the Atlantic Conference. I think we started at 8 in the Atlantic, and we ended up being ranked 6th in the Atlantic Conference by myhockeyrankings.com.
That's amazing. You know, I was at a couple of those games. I was at the game against Ramapo that you mentioned. I was also at your game to benefit different veterans organizations against, I want to say it was Columbia University over at the Ice Hutch. So, and
correct.
I followed your team throughout the season because certainly I had the opportunity to meet you, to chat with you. You mentioned Timmy Cavanaugh, who I know. I also know Kevin Schroeder. So I know a couple of the kids on your squad. So I'm glad that you did have a successful season, and it looks like, the future is certainly bright as far as Fordham's concerned. What do you enjoy the most about coaching at the collegiate level?
I like helping the kids continue their career in hockey. I know that the majority of my guys that I've coached, and I've been coaching at Fordham now for 10 years, we've had a tremendous amount of success, a winning tradition. We've won a number of championships, but what I enjoy is getting the kid who's been playing since he was a mite, 4, 5, 6 years old, and letting them continue in some cases until they're 26, 25, 26 years old, especially when I get a couple of guys who come to the school on the GI Bill of Rights, and they continue their championship ways. Kevin Keelty, who I believe played with the Daniels brothers at Suffern way back when. He did 2 tours in Afghanistan, and next thing you know, he's playing for us. He played 2 years for us. We went to the finals both of those years, and now he's flying private jet charters down in Houston, Texas. So, I mean, it's just been an honor to coach some of these guys. It's amazing.
And I'm sure that, they've learned a lot and have grown not only as players, but certainly as individuals, as young men under your tutelage, because you've created really a winning, positive culture and atmosphere at Fordham, which is great. What do you want the listeners to know about the American Collegiate Hockey Association, or ACHA?
Well, it's great competitive hockey. I mean, that's the most important thing. It's not the beer league that it might have been in the 90s or the 2000s, and I don't know if it was, but when people think of club hockey, they kind of think of something that's unorganized, student-run, that's really an excuse to play men's league with a college jersey on, and it's far from that. I mean, from coming to the games, and we have some competitive games and some competitive teams. And you get a lot of guys that have played junior hockey. I mean, the majority of my team played either junior hockey or high-level prep school hockey. Schools like Del Barton, Christian Brothers Academy locally, Boston Catholic. I have kids from Michigan playing on my team that played high-level at Jesuit schools in Michigan, Minnesota. None of them made the hair hockey team, though, but high-level hockey. And now these kids, for whatever reason, decide that they want to, instead of PGing a year or two, they want to come and just start their college education and get in, play 4 years, and get out and start making $75,000 to $150,000 a year after they graduate from the Guberti School of Business or one of the other schools at Fordham University. So, I mean, if you think about it, Travis, I have coached the Assistant District Attorney of Manhattan. I have coached the Assistant District Attorney of Brooklyn. Both of them played on my hockey team. One was a captain. The other guy was certainly a vocal leader. And just, people like that in one way or another, either by the way I talked to them, the way I acted or whatever, I had the opportunity to influence them. Sometimes maybe it was, I helped them by them not liking me. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But
I think it's important for everybody to know that, the American Collegiate Hockey Association is a viable avenue for kids to play while getting an education. I was talking to Joe Wedge recently. I know you're real friendly with him too. And, that was the drive behind our conversation is, how that's a real opportunity and a possibility for lots of our kids to play, after high school. And in speaking of that, I know that there's a 20U tournament team that you're connected with, and there's a couple of tournaments coming up. So I just wonder if we could touch on that before I let you go. I know there's the Titletown Hockey Series that's going to be in Foxborough, Massachusetts, June 8th and 9th. And then the Chowder Cup, which will be in Boston, Massachusetts, July 12th through 15th. So again, Coach, how can people find out more about that tournament team that you're connected with?
Well, they could either email me at FordhamCoachRich@AOL.com. They can go and on Facebook, there's a Westchester Dragons Facebook page that they can get a bunch of information on. But really, we've been doing this with the Dragons for a number of years. When I first started coaching at Fordham, and I realized that it was serious hockey and the kids were competitive and it was enjoyable to coach, I then decided, how can I get guys acclimated? How can I get incoming freshmen acclimated to the fact that this is real hockey? You're not just going to walk on and get a bunch of ice time. It's very competitive, and it's played. There's hitting. You have to play team-wise systems and whatnot. It's not just get the puck and try to skate through 5 people like some of these guys do in high school hockey. So the way I did it was I brought them to tournaments like these where there were 80 teams. For example, Chowder Cup has about 80 teams in the division we play in. I would say at least 20 of them are from Canada. If not more. There's at least almost as many as 10 teams from overseas, Russia, Sweden, wherever. And it's very, very competitive. We've played against Boudreaux, Kreider, Charlie Coyle, people like that that have gone on to play in the NHL. I know that, believe it or not, Austin Matthews played in it a couple of years ago before he started his NHL career. So it's amazing the fellas who are out there. But really what's out there is a bunch of guys who realize that they're going to play ACHA hockey. I know Joe, you mentioned Joe Wedge, great guy. He played Division II hockey at Stonehill. But his son played for us, and he went on to play, and still is playing, at Fairfield University. And Fairfield's gone to the Nationals the last 2 years in a row. And I think that Frank got, it was a good eye-opener because it was definitely a bunch of notches up from Iona Prep, let's say. And there's nothing wrong with Iona Prep, but it was a number of notches above, let's say, the local 18U team he might have been playing on around here. So I think that playing in these tournaments gives you a little heads up on what you need to do, what you need to be ready for when September rolls around and you find yourself at tryouts, trying out for an ACHA team.
I think it's definitely a great opportunity. So I'm going to encourage all the listeners to, again, go on Facebook. And I found it in speaking with you, Coach, facebook.com/ProPlayerHockey/. So again, if you want more information on that, that's a 20U tournament team, the Junior Dragons, that Coach Rich Guberti from Fordham University is connected with. One last question for you, Coach. If Rich Guberti wasn't a hockey coach, he'd be a blank. Fill in the blank for me.
Mega Millions winner.
I love it. And
I'll tell you quickly why, Travis, because that way, for example, there was just one for about $500 million, so you clear about $250 million. Mm-hmm. I would probably have to pay all my bills, so that would take a great amount of money away from me. But then what I would really love to do is work with kids, life after college hockey, life after hockey. I think that there's help them with substance abuse problems. A lot of these, people nowadays, there's a big problem with kids overdosing on fentanyl, things of that nature. And I'd love to, like you, help these kids and show them that, it's a great life. It might not be right now, but if you just give it a shot, it gets better. And that more than anything is what I'd rather be doing if I couldn't coach hockey. And I am blessed to be able to give that message to the people I coach hockey with at Fordham University or with the Dragon tournament team. But if I won Mega Millions or something like that, I'd be able to just devote my full-time attention to helping the kids, and also helping underprivileged kids play the game of hockey, because sometimes it's a little too expensive for them to do so. So I would love to have a tri-state junior league that was free for these kids to play, and maybe I bet we could probably have 4 to 8 teams in this area, full of junior age players, and expose them to the game of hockey on the junior level, in the hopes of getting them to go to college. And that would be a real success and a lot of fun to do.
That answer doesn't surprise me in one bit at all, Rich, because, you are a positive guy. You've created a winning attitude, a positive culture at Fordham. You're all about the kids, always about giving back. So, again, I really do appreciate the time that you've spent with me today. I've been chatting with Rich Guberti, head coach of the Fordham University Rams, and he's also connected with the Dragons Junior Hockey Tournament team. There are 2 tournaments over the summer in Foxborough, Massachusetts, and in Boston, Massachusetts, that being the Titletown Hockey Series and the Chowder Cup tournament. So again, if you want information on his 20U tournament team, you can visit facebook.com/Pro Player Hockey. Rich, thanks so much, and you have a great day.
You too, Travis. Talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, be well.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello there. This is Happy Gilmore, and you're listening to the HVpucks podcast, available for free download on Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Now back to the show.
As this special episode of HVpucks comes to an end, it's now time for Stick Taps, where we honor, recognize, and acknowledge individual players, coaches, teams, or hockey-related events and charities. Stick taps out to the Farmington Valley Generals on winning the 2018 CIAC Division II State Championship on Friday, March 16th. Stick taps out to the Eastern Connecticut Eagles on winning the 2018 CIAC Division III State Championship on Saturday, March 17th. And stick taps out to the Fairfield Prep Jesuits on winning the 2018 CIAC Division I State Championship on Saturday, March 17th. Stick taps out to the White Plains Plainsmen 18U team on winning back-to-back NYSAHA championships. Way to represent both Section 1 and the CHSHL, as the Plainsmen is made up of players from Rye-Town Harrison, Iona Prep, White Plains, the Cortland Rebels, Scarsdale, Pelham, Byram Hills, and Somers North Salem. Great job, guys. Stick taps out to Farmington Valley Generals forwards Owen Lacrossiere and Eric Schweitzer on joining the 100-point club, and forward Timothy Arena on reaching the 200-point club this season. Well done, guys. Westchester Warriors is a local spring youth hockey team. They raise money for various charity organizations. I was contacted by the father of one of their players, Mark Mocha, about this year's campaign to benefit the Westchester Medical Center Foundation. You can make a donation to Mark's page by following him on Twitter at MMOC7. Drew Booth, the captain of the Hall Southington hockey team, suffered serious facial injuries in a game on February 24th. Booth, a senior, was hit by a Conard player in the third period of the game. It was later revealed he has sustained 2 fractured eye sockets, a broken nose, and lacerations. He underwent a 6-hour surgical procedure on February 26th. A GoFundMe campaign entitled Scholarship Fund for Drew Booth has been created to help Drew and his family. Coach Carl LaRouche, a fixture in the Fairfield hockey community, underwent a kidney transplant in November. A GoFundMe campaign entitled Coach Carl's Medical Fund has been established to assist him and his family with medical bills and other related expenses during his road to recovery. A scholarship has been created in memory of 16-year-old Darian Locklear, who was a junior at Brighton High School, who tragically passed away in a car accident on February 6th. She was an outstanding student and a talented AAA hockey player. A GoFundMe campaign entitled the Darian Locklear Memorial Fund has been created with the goal of putting more kids on the ice in Darian's name. And if you know of a player, coach, team, or hockey-related event or charity and would like them to receive stick taps in the future, please tweet me at TravJack71 using the hashtag HVpucks. This is your boy Trav, and you're listening to HVpucks. I'll be back with some of my final thoughts after this.
What's happening, y'all? It's your boy, Stephen A. Smith, and you're listening to the HV Podcast, available for free download on Google Play, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Now back to the show. Hey, Travis Jackson, holler at your boy.
As the horn sounds on this special episode of HV Pucks, I want to let you know some of the topics for future podcasts. We are going to get into the history of Hudson Valley hockey with Stefan Vallis and Mike Schoenbach. I'm also going to take a deeper look into Hockey Night in Katona. I'm also going to do a feature on the New York Rangers sled hockey team. I'm going to have interviews with the emergency backup goalies at MSG. And I'm also looking to do an episode about a roller hockey team in our area, which happens to include several Section 1 players. And if there are topics you'd like me to address during the off season, please tweet me at TravJack71 as I do this podcast for you. My plan is to do at least one episode per month between April and September, which is when the local college hockey teams start back up again. You can find me on Twitter at TravJack71, on Instagram at 5_min_major, and on Snapchat at 5_min_major. You can also find my show on the Grandstand Sports Network, www.grandstandsportsnetwork.com, or at grandstand_SN on Twitter. If you like the music you've heard throughout the show, be sure to check out the new full-length album, Out of Time, by Fracture, which is available on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. The new album maintains the same high level of energy as their 2015 debut EP, Broken Walls. You can also find them on Twitter at Fracture_band, on Instagram at Fracture Official, Fracture Band Official on Facebook, and www.fractureofficial.com on the web. I hope you enjoyed this special episode of HV Pucks. This is your boy Trav, aka 5 Minute Major, and I'll see you at the rink.